Alright, welcome back everybody to Revenge Reviews. I'm Kate, and with me as always is Christian, and we are hitting our regular quota of one review a month. How are you, Christian?
That's a lie. One review a month. This is pretty sturdy, the fact we got it. I mean, this seems like not that much time has passed since the last one.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to sometimes where we'll do, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months without one.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm fine.
Yeah, I am fine too. I think the only thing that's really changed in the month that we've, that we haven't done a show, like I just started working out more. Yeah.
So speaking of working out, right?
Uh-huh.
This is a true story. I swear that this happened. I've been going to the doctor recently, because I thought, and this is a little personal, but whatever. I thought I maybe had like some kind of STD or something.
Uh-huh.
So I went to the doctor yesterday to get like my final blood results, and it was like a new doctor who I'd never seen before, and he came in, and he was like, again, I've never met this man before in my life. I was expecting my normal doctor, it wasn't him. So this young guy comes in, and he's like, "Hey, great news! You're pregnant!" And I was like, just staring at him, like, I'm like, it's like 8 in the morning, I kind of want to get my results so I can leave. I'm like, I'm not in a jokey, but I'm usually a funny person, but not this morning, like, I kind of just want to get my results to go, right?
Yeah.
And so I just stared at him, and he was like, you'd think he would pick up on the vibe, but he doubled down. He was like, "No, seriously, you're gonna have a baby!" And I was just like, is this like the visit? Can I get my results? Like, is this gonna be mostly what is gonna happen right now? And then he was like, "Oh, hey, don't worry, you're clean, everything's good." I'm like, "Oh, okay, fine." And I was like, "Well, these are still some symptoms I might be having." And he was like, "Oh, well, you know what? Just clean living, bro. You just gotta, live your life and be happy. You're young, enjoy life, man." He was like, "Do you exercise?" And I was like, "Well, I did. Until about a month ago I stopped." And this was his exact phrasing to me. "Why'd you get lazy?" I was
Good
like,
God, would you get Don Rickles as a fucking doctor?
I was like, I didn't get lazy, not that I need to explain myself to you. I was like, but I've been pretty overwhelmed with schoolwork, and this whole possible STD thing was kind of fucking with my anxiety. And he was like, "Oh, well, just go hiking, man. Like, I go hiking at least twice a week to Mount Charleston." I'm like, are we done with the medical part of this? Are we just gonna have this conversation now?
We're not friends!
Yeah, it was really bizarre and off-putting, but I'm clean, so that's what matters.
So, Christian had sex. Yay!
Man, I've been having sex. That ain't a big deal.
Yay! Oh, that's cool.
Thanks. That's the response to that, yeah. But yeah, what a weird-ass doctor, right?
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Like, at 8 in the morning.
Yeah. And again, like, I'd never seen him before in my life. It was so bizarre and off-putting. He called me lazy. He started off with weird pregnancy jokes, which I didn't appreciate, because I just wanted to, like, what if, did he look at that beforehand? What if he made that joke and then was like, "Oh, actually, you've got full-blown AIDS"?
Like, the way that story, like, you told that story, is I thought, like the wrong doctor entered the wrong room, and he's just like, "You're pregnant!" And he just saw you staring at him, and he just said, No, you're my patient, right?"
"You're Mrs. Sanchez?" "Clearly I'm not, sir, but..."
Oh my God.
Just super weird. Maybe that's, like, his style, I guess. Although, who wants that? Like, I'm there for fucking STD results. I'm not there because I want Mr. Jokey McLafferson.
Good God.
Anyway, yeah, that was...
That's horrible.
Yeah. Good old Medicaid.
Yay!
The best doctors that money will not buy. Anytime I go to this doctor, like, I'm not going to complain because it's free healthcare or whatever, but every time I go there, the waiting room is full of, and it's not like a racist thing, but it's a fact, like, full Latino families, like, husbands and wives and, like, 8 kids, just plotches of them littering the office, which is fine, but it means, like, it takes, like, forever to be seen by a doctor there.
Uh-huh.
And I'm white. I should go ahead of them. I don't think that, but...
Oh, man.
Okay, I don't think that, but there are sometimes like old white people like see in the waiting room who like clearly think that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like,
There was one time I was there, and this old white man was like waiting to go, and like 4 families had gone before him, so he'd been there for like a good 4 hours. And he got up and he was like, I served my country. I should be able to see a doctor. And they were like, sir, we're getting to you. We can get to you. And he's like, this is not right, damn it. Like, you could tell.
Go to the fucking VA.
Yeah, it doesn't. He's probably.
He's probably a fucking liar.
This was a couple of years ago. But yeah, I mean, basically, he's an old white man. So, of course, he thinks that. Anyway.
Ugh.
So, I got some news stories to talk about.
Yay, news!
Okay, so it looks like Henry Cavill is being referred to whenever he's talked about as the former Superman, kind of implying he's done as Superman.
Oh. Huh.
Nothing? No response?
I mean, I don't know, like, do I know him? Do I know his Superman? Like, do I know Clark Kent at this point?
Yeah, that's fair, but I liked him. I feel like he never really got a good shot.
Yeah, I mean, I like him, but, like, I feel like replacing him would give them an excuse to actually, you know, make Superman a character instead of this, like, weird Jesus figure.
What? I don't know. I feel bad for him, I guess. I mean, whatever, but...
I don't know, man. That Witcher trailer looks fucking awesome.
Does it?
Yeah, it actually really does. I think it looks really cool, especially like since I read the whole first book, and I'm just seeing like, oh man, they're doing that thing. So I'm pretty excited about it. I saw the trailer.
I didn't care at all about it, but I don't know. What form of the Superman curse do you think will hit Henry Cavill now?
I think he's gonna get hit by a horse. Like, because I mean, it's not gonna be Brandon Routh, because like Brandon Routh's career's like died for a while, and he's got like a pretty good career going.
Right.
And the dude on Supergirl, like he has like a recurring role, and he's like a whole bunch of WB shit, so his career's like not terrible.
I feel like Henry Cavill and Brandon Routh are gonna like get married, and then they're gonna get on a boat, and the boat's gonna blow up.
Oh.
Because the universe hates actors who played Superman.
Yeah. Who do we hate that we could just put him in that role?
This isn't... I don't know why I'm gonna say this.
Oh god.
But I'm going to... Wouldn't it be a little funny if Henry Cavill also gets paralyzed?
That's what I'm saying. Like he's gonna get hit by a horse on the set of The Witcher, and he's just gonna be paralyzed.
He's also gonna be in like a wheelchair. I don't know why I'm saying this. It's not funny, but the image of him being interviewed, and they're like, "Oh wow, claimed another one, huh?" I knew the risk when I took the part, ma'am. This was possibly going to happen to me.
First one got shot, second one got hit by a horse, other one's career died.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just seems to be bad luck.
He's just like, I don't regret it. I mean, I knew this was possibly going to happen, so, you know, you sign on for the part, you assume you're probably going to get paralyzed. It's just part of it. Who, do you care who would be the next Superman? I don't have any opinion, but...
I mean, I don't care who plays Superman, I just want a good, well-written Superman.
Yeah, I don't know, we'll see what happens.
I mean, it's not hard to, like, I don't want to see Superman take out, like, thugs. I want to see him, like, you know, go through shit. Like, have him take it, like, do the Thor thing, take his powers away, and, you know, like, see what he has to do.
That's not gonna happen, but that'd be nice. But
yeah, no, we can't have Superman be normal.
Yeah. So the next bit of news, which I feel like you probably care about more than me.
Okay.
But I guess they're gonna do a streaming show on Disney Plus about Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That was a joke, wasn't it?
No, it's a true story.
Oh my! No, I mean like the whole I would care more.
I feel like you're into Star Wars more than I am, so I don't know.
Ever since I saw the Red Letter Media episode of speculating the rise of the Skywalker, I'm just like, I think I might just sit this next one out.
Yeah, I don't. I know people really like Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. I think it's only because like those movies are bad and he's like not particularly bad in it.
He's like one of two characters that don't come out looking terrible.
Right, but at the same time, like, he's not entertaining in those movies,
no,
you know what I mean?
Not at all.
I don't... Obi-Wan, I thought, worked just best in that first Star Wars as, like, the wizard character, you know what I mean?
He was a good friend.
Yeah, like, I don't need, like, a TV show of him, like, kicking ass on Tatooine.
Yeah, I don't... What's he gonna do? Just be the kung fu master in a fucking yurt? I don't really want to watch, you know, some dude just sit on Tatooine forever.
I actually would watch that. If they made a legit, like, offensive kung fu TV show starring Ewan McGregor, I might watch that.
Yeah, but it can't be Star Wars, because if it's Star Wars, I'm not gonna care.
No, make it Star Wars, but not even have him use a lightsaber. Just have, like, a legit show of him, like, walking the earth, getting into, like, kung fu problems.
You know, that would be a Star Wars show I would watch. Just kung fu, but called The Force.
And have it be really... why is my mind going here? But have, like, all the bad guys be stereotypical Asian kung fu bad guys. And just have them, like... really bad kung fu. Like, I just want to see Ewan McGregor go like, whoa, and like punching holes through walls and shit.
all those Jason Bourne quick edits.
Have him have like a little tiny kid sidekick who's Asian with like big buck teeth.
Oh, good God. God. Jesus.
I know.
Starting the show off good.
Why did I say that? I don't know, because it'd be funny. Look, just whenever I say things like that, just so it's clear, I do not think that would be a good idea. There's just a morbidly dark part of my brain that wants to see how offensive things can get, just to, like, push humanity to the breaking point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again,
I feel you.
But, like, the dark part of my brain is like, let's see how fucked up we can get before we just destroy each other. I take it there. Anyway, I like you and McGregor. Did you ever watch Fargo season 3?
No, I haven't. I watched like the first episode, and there was just other shit to watch.
Like what?
Just like a whole bunch of other shows that I was watching at the time.
Great, name 2.
I don't remember.
I hate you so much right now.
I watched Euphoria.
Is that good?
Dude, it's fucking awesome.
You're like the second person to tell me that.
It's really good, and it's really well shot.
But I don't know enough about it to check it out, you know what I mean?
It is the most accurate high school drama, because, like, you know how, like, there's that one kid in high school who's, like, dating a 24-year-old, and there's, like, that one that's, like, selling drugs and doing drugs and, like, going through rehab, and there's, like, all this, like, high school drama, and
is that what high school was like
pregnant.
For us? I don't remember that.
No, I mean, it wasn't like that for us, but it was like that for other people who were more popular than us.
Oh, okay, that sounds about right, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's really fucking good, and, like, everyone in the show is a really... They all do, like, really good performance. There's just some jaw-droppingly beautiful scenes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, the whole, like, teen drama element doesn't really tickle my bone, but,
See, yeah, it didn't either, because I don't care about teen drama, but I was hooked in that first episode.
Okay. And it's got the girl who plays MJ, right?
Yep, Zendaya.
Okay, I might check it out then.
Yeah, let's see, what else did I watch?
Exactly. Watch Fargo season 3. Have you started The Leftovers yet?
No.
Why?
I don't know.
Why do you, like, I don't get it. Alright, yeah, anyway, my point was, Ewan McGregor is pretty good in Fargo season 3. He plays two brothers. I feel like, was he also Watson in the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies? Was that Ewan McGregor?
No, that was
The other one?
yeah, fuck, what's his fucking name?
Ewan McGregor?
Not Ewan, it's not Ewan McGregor.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% positive. It's it was the dude, like, he had like 5 movies in 2005. Fucking Sky Captain, World of Tomorrow.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor.
Not Ewan McGregor. Why can't I think of his name?
Because it's Ewan McGregor.
It is not Ewan McGregor. I'm looking that shit up right now. Jesus Christ. It's killing me too, because like, one of my friends just fucking hates that dude's guts for some reason.
Why does your friend hate Ewan McGregor? Is it because they didn't like I Love You, Philip Morris?
It is Jude Law.
Have you seen them in the same room together?
Look, I cannot confirm or deny if Ewan McGregor and Jude Law are the same lizard alien wearing a mask. I cannot confirm nor deny that.
Okay, good. That's what I want to get around to. I'm just saying they're a lot alike. Okay, so the next bit of news. Well, do you have anything else to say about the whole Star Wars thing, or no?
I find myself, like, even though, like, I still like The Last Jedi, and I see the points that they were making, you know, a whole movie on, you know, subverting expectations kind of gets a little boring after a while, but I like the fact that, you know, it kind of forced them to move on, and then they just didn't. And I just don't really care anymore.
Again, it seems like Disney is, like, obsessed with the same, like, 30-year span in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get the Disney streaming service?
I don't want to, but, like, there's shows on there that I do want to watch, so I might just, like, pirate them.
Yeah, I don't really want to either, but
I mean, the thing is, like, Disney owns Hulu.
Yeah.
And so they're milking us for more money when they could just put their shit on Hulu.
Yeah, I don't, it's getting weird, because, like, you know, they bought Fox.
Yeah.
It's like, we're really getting to a point where it's really going to be only Disney-owned properties in movie theaters.
Yeah.
Which ties into the next thing.
Oh, God.
The next story is, I guess there's been some comments made about Deadpool, since he's now technically a Marvel character, not needing to be rated R for his movies.
I've heard the same thing, and I see why that argument is brought up, but I hate it. Because I want my dirty, vile, mean-spirited, violent as shit Deadpool movie.
Yeah, I feel like it's weird, because, like, right before Disney bought Fox, they were saying that even if they get those properties, they're not going to change much, but in the back of my head, I was like, they're going to make, like, a defanged version of Deadpool.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening now, I think. And they're going to, like, I guess, put him in the Marvel Universe, like, with the Avengers. I feel like that's something... I think, like, people think they want that, but once they get it, they're not going to actually like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because, like, I don't want that.
Yeah, I don't want it at all either.
I really... And I know that they're planning on it, but I really don't want my mutants and my Avengers mixing.
No, I'm fine with that. I specifically don't want Deadpool with those things. I think Deadpool works better just making fun of shit. Like, they can incorporate stuff from the Marvel Universe in Deadpool movies, but, like, do you think that like, Endgame would have been... Okay, think of Endgame, right? When Iron Man dies, would you have wanted them to cut to Deadpool being like, he'll be back in the 3rd sequel? Like, just undercutting this... You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really don't want that. Like... The only thing that I would even remotely accept would be like some weird like road trip with like the two what do the Avengers have as far as characters that are even kind of like Deadpool? Because Spider-Man's too young to be hanging out with fucking Wade Wilson right now.
Well, Guardians maybe, but again, I feel like Deadpool is so funny and that I feel like he would undercut any kind of drama going forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And which I don't want. Again, I think people think it would be good on the surface, like, yeah, put Deadpool with the Avengers, but like, I don't know if they understand what it really means that going forward we couldn't take any of it seriously anymore.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's one thing to do that in a comic book setting because it's a comic book.
Yeah.
You're only supposed to take it but so seriously. But in a movie, you only have like an hour and a half to 3 hour window to sell me a story. And if your tone's all over the place, no one's gonna like it.
Yeah, like, I just think of, like, Endgame, like, when it shows, like, that funeral sequence for Tony, like, if they just panned away Wilson and be like, oh, look at my balls! Like, would that have made it better? I don't...
or just, like, this weird, like, voiceover of him talking to the audience. Like, I don't really honestly want it. Like, I really want my mutants to be kind of separate. To have their own team, like there could be like a crossover, like, hey, did you get intel on this thing? But I kind of just want them to be separate beings.
But yeah, I don't. Again, I'm fine with X-Men being with the Avengers, but I don't want Deadpool. I don't want Deadpool with the X-Men either. I want him to just be his own thing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because Disney owns everything. Yeah. So.
But hey, you know what? If it does turn to shit, we still have the Infinity Saga, and we also still have The Boys, which is getting so much positive press, and quite frankly, I'm so happy about that.
I'm like slightly bitter about it because I feel like The Boys isn't that dissimilar from The Tick, which nobody watched.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just, it's The Tick, but, like, if The Tick were written by Warren Ellis.
No, they're different. But I just mean, like, as far as, like, being a goofy, like, kind of, like, poking fun at the superhero genre, I feel like The Tick also did that. Obviously not as, like, hardcore. Obviously not as serious. But again, like, similar kind of tones. They're both by Amazon, and, like, I'm bitter The Tick was canceled. Again, I'm happy that The Boys is doing well, and they're gonna get a season 2, and that's great. But again, I'm just like, we kind of had that with The Tick, and nobody watched it. But now let's get Carl Urban saying fuck, and everyone loves it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, from what I've heard, like one of the biggest complaints that I heard about The Tick was that everything was really, like, they really liked it, but the fact that The Tick was never in any real danger, so that the stakes weren't very high for him, kind of made it boring for them. Like, it didn't make it boring for me because I found that Peter Serafinowicz was just an endless supply of joy through the whole show, but I can see why they would say that.
Well, anybody says that is wrong and stupid, and I hope their balls fall off or their vaginas go inwards. So there's that. Do you want to talk about The Boys at all? I kind of feel like you and I have already talked about it, and it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. Red Letter Media also did a whole video on it, and yeah, it's in my opinion the best superhero television show we have right now.
Yeah, I'll say that. Because yeah, I don't have like any real flaws with it. I mean, as you know, I've read the comics, and it's obviously going in a completely different direction, which is fine.
Yeah.
Not all the, like, I think we talked about my biggest problem is Butcher.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's just he's so different. And not that that's a bad thing, but I feel like the character in the comics just had more depth, I guess. That's my only real complaint.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, and he really did, because he did have that Big Brother effect just, like, automatically. Yeah. But the way that they ended the show, it makes me go, okay, all right, let's see where this goes.
Yeah. And I feel like they walk a really good balance, because I know some people who, like, really love the comics, which is weird to say that, because, like...
I don't think I can go back and read that.
Here's, like... It's I tell people it's my favorite comic series. I don't know if that's true, but it's just like, that's like the first comic I ever, like, read as a kid. Like, from the beginning to the end. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that book really got me into comics, so it's like a nostalgia thing for me, I think. Like, looking back, there are certain storylines I don't feel worked as well, and it's not a perfect comic from beginning to end, and a lot of it is just shock, which I get. But I don't know. Again, that comic holds a special place for me. But again, I don't think it needed to be as like gross and crass as a comics was, and some people think it should have been.
I'm glad it wasn't. You know, I mean, it was almost there, but the way that they dealt with the issues that were in the comic was done a lot better. Because like, it takes Starlight fucking forever to be a strong character.
Yeah, I feel like her and Homelander, I like them both better in the show.
Oh, absolutely. And like, yeah, Homelander in the comics is just evil Superman, whereas here, god damn it, he's probably my favorite part of the show.
I agree. I almost feel like the Seven is almost more interesting than the boys as characters in the show, which I think kind of might be a problem going forward.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's not really a complaint, depending on how long they want the show to go for, but I do... Like, the show starts with them going against the Seven, where in the comics they build to that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how long they can sustain the story of just them versus the Seven. Like, they're gonna have to introduce other people, unless they only plan to go for, like, 3 years, which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see them, because, you know, they brought up Teenage Kicks, like, 4 times in the show. They brought up the Christian Avenger thing. And they brought up, the G-Men.
Yeah.
Like, they could probably do a little bit more with the Christian thing, although probably not very much.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they did that already. That episode was kind of enough. I don't need more of them.
I would absolutely like to see Teenage Kicks.
Or just some other group, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. For season 2, they've already cast, do you remember the character Stormfront?
No.
That was basically like the Thor character who was like a Nazi.
Yeah, okay.
He was on the Avengers team, but it's like a younger female actress, so I guess it's different. But I don't know, like I just think of like, I wish it was more like the comics in some ways, but there's an image in my head. Do you remember when he goes with that younger frat house group of boys that Huey kind of teams up with for a while?
Yeah.
And the characters look like the guys from Animal House, and there's a scene where like the character who looks like Belushi is like laying on the ground, and all of his friends are like pissing on his face, and they're all laughing. I'm like, I don't need to see that live action. Like, I'm okay with not having that, but
that's kind of the problem with adapting Garth Ennis books.
Yeah, and Preacher kind of like suffered. I don't think that's I like that show, but I don't think it's been fully successful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm glad The Boys is doing really well. I'm glad it's getting a season 2. I'm glad people like it. I'm intrigued to see where it goes next. I don't love it as much as I wanted to, but that's okay.
Yeah, and overall, like with you know the overall story of the comics, the little parts of the comics, I would much rather have the TV show now rather than have a more like or just even like just having the more Garth Ennis-y sort of shit from the comics in this, because there's like this sick satisfaction that I get from reading Garth Ennis stuff that makes me just, it's, you know, it's like all weird and like it's vile, it's mean-spirited. I get this weird satisfaction from reading it, but I don't want to see that shit on television. I want to see like a more mature version of it. You know, because like, you know what we're saying, like it's okay to do some weird, inappropriate things in a comic, but because you can only take a comic but so seriously. It's a different ballpark when it comes to a television screen or a movie screen.
Right.
But I mean, overall, like I couldn't be more excited to see where this thing goes.
Yeah, my only hope for season 2 is that maybe, I think the boys themselves need to be fleshed out a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's my only real want for season 2. But again, I'm curious to see where it goes. I like it.
Yeah.
Alright, the last bit of news is the Eddie Murphy trailer, Little Women. So what'd you think of it?
I didn't see Little Women. I know it's like a book, but I never read it, so I don't really know anything about Little Women.
Eddie Murphy's playing all the Little Women. There's a scene of all the Little Women around a table, and it's Eddie Murphy in like fat suits.
Oh God.
No. What's the name of the movie? Dolomite? Or I Am Dolomite?
Dolomite Is My Name.
Yeah.
I think it looks entertaining. I think it looks funny, but the one reservation I have is, when is the last time that Eddie Murphy made me laugh? Or made me watch a good movie?
Clumps?
That was 1995.
Yeah, his career's been weird, hasn't it? Like,
yeah, like I think the last good movie he was in was what was it? Oh, it was the R&B movie. That came out like 3 months before Norbit. Dreamgirls, yeah, where it was like, oh man, he's back, and then Norbit came out, it's like, no, you gotta go back. you gotta go.
I feel like I don't have anything to base this on, but I get the feeling he hates that he's seen as like a comedic thing and wants to do more than that, but whatever he does, it's, I don't know, like, it looks like a funny trailer. It's a Netflix movie, right?
I don't think so. I think it's a real movie.
Netflix movies are real movies.
I mean, not a lot of them. Some of them are, yeah, but not a lot of them.
Okay, speaking of Netflix movies, did you see the trailer? I didn't ask you to watch this, so it doesn't really matter. But have you seen the trailer for the Marlon Wayans movie, Sextuplets?
I saw about half of it. And I was like, no.
So that's a Netflix movie. So you're saying Netflix movies aren't real movies?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so Dolomite is a blaxploitation character.
Yep. Originally portrayed by Rudy Ray Moore.
I've never seen any of those movies. The only blaxploitation movies I've seen was, I have seen, Superfly, and I've seen, what's that one that you gave me years ago? Black Superman?
Oh yeah, A-Bar Black Superman.
Which was great.
I love that movie.
Yeah, that was great. And I've seen Black Dynamite, but that doesn't really count.
Yeah, that's just a spoof.
That's a parody of it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it looks funny, and it looks like he's got some dramatic parts in the movie. It's got that actor who plays Titus from Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah, Titus Burgess.
Who I really like, but I can't look at him and not think he's hilarious.
Same.
Like, just his face makes me laugh. I don't... It's not... I feel like it's... He's so funny in Kimmy Schmidt, and I like him so much, but I feel like he could never be a serious actor.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of actors who have made that leap, but it takes a lot of hard work and, like a couple really good projects.
Like, just him smiling gives me the giggles. I don't know. It's not that anything is bad about him. It's just, he's so funny. I don't know. Like, I can't look at him and think anything serious. So it'll be interesting to see how, and he's got like a wig on in this Dolomite movie. I don't know. It'll be, Wesley Snipes is in it.
Yeah, I like the cast. I like the director. He directed Black Snake Moan and Hustle and Flow.
I've never seen either of those.
They're really good. I don't know if if they're like worth revisiting now, just because it's been like a long time. But I don't know. And I feel like both of those are kind of like you have to go out of your way to watch.
Wasn't Black Snake Moan the one with Sam Jackson where he's got like Christina Ricci tied up in his basement?
Yep.
Is that the plot, or is there more to it than that?
She's like a drug addict, and he's just trying to almost torture the addiction and sluttiness out of her.
You know, as a weird social worker, that is a method we use. It's called the Black Snake Moan method. Where we tie up people in our basements to get them off the hooch. Yeah, I don't know. I'll watch it. I'll watch a Dolomite movie. Eddie Murphy. What's that one he did with Steve Martin where he plays two characters?
Was he in a Steve Martin movie?
Yeah, where Steve Martin is like making a movie around Eddie Murphy, but Eddie Murphy doesn't realize he's in the movie.
I don't think I've ever seen this.
Are you kidding me?
I'm pretty sure.
What the hell's it called? Yeah, Steve Martin is like a failing kind of filmmaker, and he's got this like crew of people, and Eddie Murphy plays like a famous actor who's in the Scientology cult, and they're like shooting around him, and Eddie Murphy doesn't realize he's in this movie. He thinks all this stuff is really happening to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Eddie Murphy also plays like another character who looks like this actor but is like really dorky looking. It's pretty funny.
Do you remember what year it came out?
It was like a long time ago. I think I was in like 4th grade when it came out. God damn it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I'm not... Oh, Bowfinger.
Yes.
I've never seen Bowfinger.
It's pretty good. Pretty funny. You should check it out.
Yeah, I hear it's good. Like, it gets brought up, like, every once in a while, and I just... It's like one of those, like, it's... I feel like a lot of people like it, but it's not enough to, like, have it on, like, streaming services a lot.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks. There's, like, a lot of those movies that I really do like and I do know that just don't have the audience to have them on regularly.
Well, I'm not going to tell you to watch it because you don't listen to anything I say, so there's that. The Leftovers will make you emotional, damn it. Just watch the show.
Okay. I'll do it at some point.
If you watch the first episode and you legit don't like it, fine. Okay. But I think you will be hooked.
Okay.
Alright, that's all the news I got.
Alright, so let's talk about a movie that when it came out, I was like, oh man, that sounds really cool, and I never watched it. I forgot about it. I forgot it even existed. So on watching Suspiria, it takes about 20 minutes for me to go, what the fuck is this movie about? And like I see like Chloe Grace Moretz is like a fucking crazy person, and then here's that woman from the 50 Shades of Grey movie. I'm like, oh man, she's really good here. Why the fuck was she in that? And then you hear some of the ballet women or the ballerinas like say like that, like talk about like witches, and I'm like, witches? The heck? What are they talking about? And like there's something that happens, or the first woman to die, or just to we're gonna get to that, but like the first woman to die, like she's like calls them witches in front of the whole group, and I'm like, are they witches?
You didn't know it was witchcraft going into it? Not
even a little.
What did you think it was about?
I don't know. I knew it was like some type of horror movie, but I didn't know anything about it. But yeah, there's this part on the staircase where one of the ballet company meets the woman. I forget her name. They meet her on the staircase, and then there's this like really super close up where it's like kind of blurry and like kind of almost like there's a fog on it. I'm like, holy shit, they are witches. And then comes the most disturbing fucking scene I've ever seen until the next 3 scenes in the movie. Because I'm just like watching it, jaw just dropped on the floor. I'm like eating crackers and cheese. I'm just like got this shit hanging out my mouth. Like, what am I watching? And then it ends. I'm like, oh! Like I exhale for like the first time in minutes. Oh my god.
Yeah, so Suspiria, it's actually a remake.
Yeah, I knew that, yeah.
It came out, I think, either last year or the year before that, but,
I think last year.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite movies of that year. Like, I don't know if you actually like this movie, but I fucking love this movie.
Dude, I adored it. Like, I would actually say this is probably my favorite Witch Coven movie.
Yeah, so, I mean, okay, just really quick, the basic plot is, there's this prestigious, like, dance school, in Germany, and this American from Ohio, this small town girl, she applies and gets accepted there, and then lo and behold, it's run by a coven of witches.
Mm-hmm.
That's the basic premise. But I'm not. It's okay. So I was rewatching it, and there's a part of me that's like, I don't know anything about dancing, I'm like, Dakota Johnson is doing these moves. I'm like, is this good? I don't know what counts as good dancing. It's all like rhythmic stuff. I'm like, is this like high quality dancing? I don't know.
Yeah, like there's a few movies that like I have ballet like over the past like 10 years where it's like ballets that you've never really seen before.
You're
Like
talking about Step Up too?
I like Step Up.
Oh my god, of course you do.
But like Black Swan, it was just Swan Lake, but I've never seen like ballet done so like creepily. And then I see it here, and it's like it looks modern ballet, like ballet is not like in the classical era. It looks like it's borrowing a lot from like hip hop and like actual like music video dance moves.
And like it builds up to this dance sequence for the dance you're doing called Volk. And that looks awesome.
Yeah.
But like it's like all the practice stuff when it's Susie by herself, she's just like throbbing to the air, and I'm like, is this what dancing is? I don't know anything about this world. I can't tell if it's good or not.
Yeah. So we Susie auditions, and she gets the part, and then we have Tilda Swinton, who's just amazing in every single thing she's in, just being creepy for like 30 minutes.
Did you realize she plays 3 roles in this movie?
She does?
Are you kidding me right now?
No, I thought Tilda Swinton was just the one character.
Oh my god, okay, get ready to have your mind blown, alright?
Alright.
Tilda Swinton also plays Mother Marcos at the end.
No way!
That's not it. She's also Dr. Klemperer.
What?
Yes!
I didn't know that.
Yes!
Oh! I mean, I could tell that was like... I thought that was a man with like old, like bad old makeup.
Nope.
Oh my god, she has acted her fucking ass off in that movie.
She's amazing, right?
Oh god, she's so good.
And like, I read this article about like, because it's not like, look, so many crazy shit happens in that movie. Like, yeah, Tilda Swinton plays an old man. I don't need to know why. Fine. But I guess because like, in particularly those 3 characters, they represent like the id, the ego, and the superego. Because I was like, I'm sure there's a reason why the director had her play those 3 specific parts. But yeah, she also plays Mother Jabba Hutt at the end. Yeah,
the hag, the witch hag.
Who's fucking horrifying looking.
Oh. Yeah. I did think it was... Sorry, so we're gonna go to the end, because I feel like we're just gonna talk about this movie step by step.
We're just gonna jump around a lot.
Okay, so the first murder, Tilda Swinton, as, you know, looking like Tilda Swinton, Blanc, she puts in magic in her hands and, what's her name's hands and feet?
Yeah, Dakota Johnson's Susie Band.
Yeah, and she's, like, magically connected to the limbs of the woman who's, like, being run out. What's her name? Olga? Yeah. And then she's like in the audition room of mirrors, and as the ballet is going, she just gets twisted and turned, and bones popping out, and like her jaw dislocated, and like bile coming up through her mouth, and I'm just... I don't breathe through that whole scene.
I so wish I could have seen your reaction during that scene.
Oh my god. Like, that was one of the most gruesome things I've never seen, and there's no blood.
Just piss.
Yeah, piss and bile and spit and crying and tears and bruising and pain.
And it doesn't kill her.
I know! Like, oh my god, they fucking just killed the shit out of her, and they poke her with the stuff and she moans. I'm like, she's still alive?
Yep.
Oh my god.
So there's certain aspects of the movie that I still don't fully understand, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't suck because of that. But like, they're doing some kind of ritual where, in the beginning, they have like among the coven of witches, they have a vote for who's going to take over the coven, and it's either Madame Blanc, portrayed by Tilda Swinton, or Helena Marcos, also Tilda Swinton. And Marcos, I guess it's like implied that she's like corrupt, right?
See, I took that as Marcos was a false prophet.
Yeah, something like she's claiming to be, because there's like three witch mothers. There's like Mother Suspirium, and two other ones. And like
Yeah.
Helena Marcos is claiming to be Suspirium, but they don't know what she is.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a vote, and then there's some like ritual where they want to get like a young girl, because it was going to be Chloe Grace Moretz, and then she left. So then they latch onto Susie. That I guess like, is Helena Marcos going to like go into her body or something?
See, I figured that because that's like a typical trope in like the witch mythos.
Right.
Like yeah, just like a sacrifice to have like youth forever or something.
So that's like the plan, kind of, and then it's kind of revealed. And this is something I don't really understand either, that Susie is Mother Suspiriorum.
Yeah, she, like, I only figured that, like, only once it was finally revealed, I started thinking of, when she was a kid, and she kept writing in her little color, or her little geometry book or something, Berlin, and we know that the ballet company had been around for, like, a while.
Right.
So I feel like she was always Lady Suspiriorum, but like never fully knowing it.
Yeah, that's what I don't fully understand, if she knew the whole time or if like it awakened something in her.
Yeah, but there was a point at the dinner that they have where Tilda Swinton and where Blanc and Susie are staring at each other, and I'm sitting there thinking, I think Susie's gonna go all in, and yeah, I could not be so happy to have figured that out. Like, oh man, this shit's gonna get crazy. And then that woman just like steps in a hole in the hall that grows in the hallway, and she gets a compound fracture.
Oh, poor Sarah.
I'm like, oh dear God. And then they just heal it, and she dances on it. Ugh.
It's a pretty disturbing movie.
It really is.
But it's like weirdly beautiful too.
Oh, dude, some of the cinematography in this thing is just breathtaking.
Just like, I mean, the way it starts, like with that like spooky song, and like it's broken up by chapters. I don't know, like I love everything about it. Like it's just amazing. Like I don't know, like the fact a movie like that would get made.
Yeah, I'm as much criticism as I have toward Amazon. Hey man, I'm glad they helped fund this thing.
Yeah.
Which is fuck. I could not be happier that I saw this movie, because I never would have.
Yeah, I know. Because I said you should. So why would you listen to me? I'm just kidding. And like all the witches look really, like they're not all fleshed out, but they all have like very distinctive looks.
Yeah.
Like some of them look like Grace Jones, and some of them look like.
I thought that was Grace Jones until I looked it up.
Some of them look like lesbian craft store owners. They all have very distinct looks.
Yeah, and it makes it so easy for you to kind of, fill in their backstory just by like the way that they act. Like they all do act like very different people.
Yes.
And so when you have that at the end, when you see like, because like, you don't know like what importance the vote is for Marcos or Blanc, because like they're voting for who's going to run the company. Ooh, why am I sitting through this? And then we see at the end that's not what it was. It's who's going to run the coven.
Right.
And oh boy, do all the Marcos voters, boy, they get theirs. Heads explode.
Miss Tanner, which I don't understand.
Did she? I thought she didn't vote for Marcos.
No, she did.
Huh.
But she's like the one Marcos support who's kept alive at the end. I'm sure there's some reason behind it. I don't understand what it is, but yeah, she gets left off the hook at the end.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely do want to watch it again, because I had told Megan about it. It's like, this is like my favorite Witch Coven movie ever, as far as because I think of like all the other ones, and a lot of them go either campy or kids movie, whereas this thing is just like completely made for just adults.
Yeah.
And like their ballerina stuff, like there's nudity like partially, but it's not sexy at all.
No.
These are sexy women, but like the way this is filmed, just like there's danger and terror around every fucking corner.
Are you trying to say that you would not want to have sex with Mother Marcos?
I don't know. A little nip and tuck and a little bit of a, a little exercise. She might be a looker before she rips my fucking heart out.
Hand?
Yeah. There's these 3 witch characters in Witcher 3 that look just like her.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I forget like what word it is. Like it's some like Lithuanian or whatever, where that fucking book's from. But like they're basically witch hags.
Okay.
And this Lady Marcos looks a lot like the fat witch hag in Witcher 3. Like even like with baby arms and like weird like little appendages and folds of her skin. Like it looked really good, and I was really impressed to see that on screen.
That's interesting. I didn't know that was like a preconceived kind of thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
Klumper, I like him as a character. I don't fully understand everything about him.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, I get it. He's just kind of like an impotent male.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, you kind of like assume that he made a mistake or something, or did something to drive his wife away, and she got captured into a concentration camp.
I think it's more that, like, he didn't do more, I think. Like, he just kind of let it happen or something.
Okay.
And I think that's kind of like, he's not a bad man, but he's not innocent either, which is why I guess they choose him at the end as the witness.
Uh-huh.
And you get to see weird Tilda Swinton with a prosthetic penis on as an old man.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Weird, naked, screaming Klumperer. But yeah, he, like, wants his wife back. But even then, like, he's kind of like for lack of a better phrase, like the Dr. Loomis character in a horror movie. He's like the one who's kind of trying to fix everything and figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not helpful. Like, Chloe Grace Moretz tells him what happens, and he doesn't believe her, and then he kind of suffers for it at the end.
Yeah, like even to where like they call him out for it. Like, she came to you with the problem and you didn't believe her, and he just like he gets his memory erased, and I couldn't tell if that was like a sign of mercy or a sign of punishment.
I think we're supposed to think of it as mercy. I think Mother Suspirium is supposed to be good.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't know if she erased all of his memories or just the bad ones of that night he just went through.
Yeah, I don't know, because like he didn't remember his assistant or nurse or whatever Mrs. Sam was until like she said her name, and he smiled at that.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. Like this is definitely going on the rewatch soon list. I thought the makeup effects were fucking gorgeous and gruesome. I thought Death looked amazing.
Okay, I was gonna ask how you felt about the. That's kind of like some people love it and some people.
I didn't see. I thought because when Blanc mentioned that they put Death, or the lady or whatever they called her, underneath the floorboards, I'm like, oh shit, that's what's driving her to be so close to the ground or whatever. And then they do like this weird metaphor that you kind of only pick up in like at the last scene where she's making her jump more. Mm-hmm. You kind of have that like metaphor of bringing up the spirit or whatever. But we just see the hand, like the long fingered clawed hand, for like 2 scenes or something like that. And I'm like, what the absolute... Is this like a monster that's gonna be eating somebody? And no, it turns out that is the spirit of Lady Suspirium. And I kind of thought it was a really cool take that Death was like a merciful god.
Unless you voted for Marcos, in which case you just pops your head off.
Hey, that's what happens when you vote for a heretic.
But I don't know, some people love the movie, but then once they get to that specific scene, I guess they think it doesn't work with like the visuals and the song playing. I liked it, but some people really don't like it, so I didn't know how you felt about the ending.
I can't agree with those people, because I thought that last scene was perfect.
Okay.
I thought it was choreographed beautifully. I thought the blood, like their heads exploding, was just glorious. I I don't have a single negative thing to say about it because like that first like 20 minutes of like what the fuck is this movie doing is completely made up for, when you figure it out.
What did you think about the? So they use like again, this movie's like full of symbolism, and I'm sure I
Mm-hmm.
don't even fully understand most of it. But the witches use these really creepy looking like hook blade things.
Yeah.
My friend said that she thought, and this could be right, that it's supposed to represent like the rib because Adam's
Mm-hmm.
rib was used to make Eve.
Uh, uh,
It's like that. I don't know if I believe it, but she said that that was her interpretation. But it's like it's a very like woman based movie. Like even the
mm-hmm.
main male character is played by a woman. But
Yeah. Like yeah, I think there's like only what three male actors in the whole movie.
well, you have the two detectives that have like their penises poked out.
Yeah, the two detectives, and then I guess it's the young version uh of the old man character.
Do we see a young version of Klumper?
Only for like a hot second, and you kind of have to assume that it's him because we
Okay.
don't we just see a young man and a young woman at Klemper's place.
Are you talking about the ending?
It's close to the end.
Are you talking like the last scene?
I don't think it's the last scene.
Because it jumps ahead to the future at one point.
Hmm.
But but yeah, that scene where the witches have those two detectives and they're like just cackling at them and like
Yeah.
prodding them. That's so spooky.
I know. I was just like, I was just like holding my breath. It's like, are they gonna like impale his penis? Like I thought some shit was about to go down, but it's just so much creepier that they were just mocking him as he was just completely unaware of what was happening.
Another scene that it's not like gruesome, but for some reason it really gives me the heebie-jeebies. And it's really fucked up what they do to Klumper, that they make him believe his wife came back.
Yeah.
Because throughout the whole movie, he's like trying, like he thinks his wife is maybe dead, but he holds out hope that she survived the Holocaust.
Mm-hmm.
So she comes back to one point, and he has this like scene where he's like with her and he's happy, and then it like hard cuts to like like a witch just screaming and dragging him into the house.
Mm-hmm.
But that scene, like when it does hard cuts and then them like screaming and dragging him, really spooks me out for some reason.
Yeah, this movie did creepy very well.
Yeah,
Because like I wouldn't say it's like it's definitely not your typical horror movie where like there's absolutely no jump scares. It's just
Right.
100%. I feel very uncomfortable, and goddamn, this is one of my favorite movies.
of all time.
I don't know about all time, but like of this genre and of the last few years.
Yeah.
This movie's amazing. It really is. It's amazing.
Yeah, I just and again, like nobody really saw it. I think the people who saw it seem to have liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that came out the same year as The Death of Stalin. Did you watch that?
I did.
Did you really? Did you like
Yeah,
it?
yeah, I did. I see the criticisms of it, but I thought that it was very entertaining. I thought it was a good representation of like what happened. Like obviously in a condensed timeline, but I thought it was good.
I love Death of Stalin, but those two movies came out I think the same year, and those are like my favorite movies of that year.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both done by Amazon, which is interesting. But again, like nobody saw them. Like I don't know anybody who watched Suspiria. Like, it's a legit good horror movie.
Yeah,
Got like meat to it. It makes you think. It's not just like a slap movie or one of these like dumb Annabelle movies. It's like a legit good horror movie that nobody watched.
yeah. I think like as soon as I was done, I texted my friends from school. I'm like, hey, you guys need to watch this because like there's one of my friends who he really likes like super pretentious like cinematography, but like done like not like pretentious and like it's like it's fancy but for a reason. And he this would definitely be down his alley.
Yeah.
Like I want to have this as like a movie night for like my whole group of friends here.
Tell them to clear some time because it's long.
Yeah, it is. It's 2.5 hours long. But honestly, it didn't really feel that way for me.
That's how I felt too. Like, once we get to like the ending, I'm like, oh shit! I'm like, this movie was just chugging along. Like, it doesn't feel long to me at all. I think it's a really well paced movie actually.
Yeah. Like, it's not like I couldn't tell that 2.5 hours had gone by, but I could tell that like a good bit of time has gone by because this movie is filled, like every frame of this movie is just filled with some sort of story or symbolism.
Does this make you want to watch the original?
It does actually.
I don't. They're very different.
I've heard that.
Like the original, I've seen it. I think it's fine. I don't love it as much as everybody else does. I know it's like deemed a classic for what's the name of the genre? Like giallo horror, like Italian horror. Yeah. And it's cool to watch the first time. It's really colorful, which this movie's not. I mean, it is, but it isn't. And the score's pretty good in the old one, but this movie I feel like it's way better. Like I don't know if you would even like the old one if you've seen the new one already.
I'll give it a shot.
To hear what you think about it.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
The lady who plays Klemper's wife is the main character from the original movie.
The nurse woman?
No, Klemper's wife in this one.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's dressed like a Harper, but she's Susie in the original movie. She's also in the sequel to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Shock Treatment, so...
I've never seen Shock Treatment.
Do you like Rocky Horror?
Man.
Okay, so I kind of feel like I like that movie, but I think I liked it more when I was like a kid.
Yeah, it's like every third time I watch it, I'm like, hey, that wasn't bad, and then like the other times I'm like, meh.
I'm like, I get why people love it. I love the music and I like the characters, but I don't watch it that often.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to like a screening where they have like actors acting it out, like with the audience participation?
Yep.
Did you like it?
No. I don't like that because I just want to watch the movie.
I went once with your sister. Years ago, and I thought I had a good time. But then I went recently, like last year, with a different friends, and I was like, I think I'm done with this. Like, I think I'm maybe outgrowing Rocky Horror or something. I don't know. But the sequel, Shock Treatment, it's good, but it's kind of fun to watch. It's totally different. But
how do you find it?
I have no idea. Next time we see each other, we can watch it. Because I own it, but... But, yeah, I'm glad you dug Suspiria.
Yeah, me too. Fuck, like, this... I really want to, like, have, like, a movie night or something tomorrow night and just show my friends. Because, like, I want to watch this movie again soon. I don't say that with a lot of movies.
You didn't feel that about Operation Grandpa?
No.
Or, OK Connery?
Nope.
That's not the name of the movie, right? What was it?
Operation Kid Brother, and... Yeah, it's some other, like, 007 ripoff name.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
But, yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
Oh, man, me too. So... With that being said, I figured that we're going to continue on with another good movie. I don't know, like watching a bad movie and making fun of it is... Sometimes it feels like real actual work. You know, like sometimes it just feels like work to get through a really bad movie. So, I watched this... and I'm glad that you haven't, but we're gonna watch Black Klansman.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope you like it. I hope that we can do that episode soon because I want to talk about that with you.
But just so you know, my pick after that will be crap.
Okay.
We're going back to the crap.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll have 2 in a row of good movies. That's fine.
Yeah, that's a good, back in this.
Yeah. Okay, Black Klansman. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I think I kept meaning to, and I just never got around to it.
It is on, right now it's on HBO, and if it gets taken off, like I have another like legally questionable streaming thing that me and my friends use.
If it's on HBO, I can watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So until we meet again, listener.
Bye.
Bye.